Welcome back to the weekend edition of the PM Show on CRN Digital Talk Radio. I'm Michael Horn. Eric Joseph from the news department with us here. The great Jimmy Mack, handicapper extraordinaire. The great football great, ladies and gentlemen. A man who Tommy Lasorda last night at the opening of the Ranch restaurant told me, he said, Fred Dreyer is a good guy. I really like him a lot. That's what Tommy Lasorda, the great Hall of Fame manager, said about the great defensive end Fred Dreyer. Of course, Fred also a great accomplished actor and an incredible talk show host with us here handicapping the games. Jimmy Mack, you are up next here. This is New England at home, 13.5 point favorites over Tim Tebow and the Denver Broncos. What do you think?
Game.
What do you think?
It's a lot of points, and it's the hardest game. It's just a matter of...
Yes, the points are making it hard.
Yeah, that's what makes it hard, exactly. Because Brady beat them last time, but there was on 3 fumbles. They had 3 fumbles, Tebow's team. If it wasn't for the 3 fumbles, it would have been closer. They beat them 41-23. The only problem is I can see that the defense on – there's no defense on New England, and they hold the ball long enough. I think it's too many points. I'm going to take the points and go with Denver.
Well, now, New England gave up 342 points during the regular season. Denver gave up 390, but don't forget Denver had a very crazy start at the end. At the end of the season, of course, New England on a roll. They've had time off. They won 8 in a row. Denver lost 3 straight, but then came back with that big victory over Pittsburgh last week. Well, how are you going on this, Eric Joseph?
You know what? Denver does pretty good on the road. I'm not saying they're going to win, but they're going to cover the point, I think. I'm going to go with Denver.
Denver on the road.
Points.
Denver's home record was 3 wins, 5 losses. Their road 5-3. New England at home 7-1, and then on the road 6-2. What do you think, Fred Dreyer?
What's the weather report? Do we know?
The weather report, Jimmy Mack, do we know? Is it going to be snowing crazy?
I'll look it up right this second here with my wonderful phone.
Check that weather report out because I'm tending to agree with you gentlemen here just because of the 13.5 points. I know that I believe New England will win this game. I just don't know if it will be by 2 touchdowns. But look at these handicappers. It's 13.5, so 2 touchdowns. If they win by that, that means you get the points there. You get the whole victory. So this is just shy of 2 touchdowns on the game. You got the weather report?
It's coming in right this second.
Apparently, you got to wait for the weather, ladies and gentlemen. I can read another one of my fun stories where a dad is selling his son for $20 million on Facebook. That's Al Sahari is trying to avoid poverty. This guy from is trying to avoid poverty, and he is trying. His Saudi Arabian government has forced him to shut his illegal business down, and so he's advertised on Facebook that his son could be had for $20 million. So apparently there in Saudi Arabia you can sell children. He's turned to trafficking because the government put the kibosh on his debt collection business, and the welfare officials denied his request for aid because he's older than 35, the age limit for receiving benefits. Can you believe a guy selling his own flesh and blood online and says he wants to avoid living in poverty? All right, do we have the weather report now?
Yes, I do.
What is it?
I have 32 degrees high and 8 degrees low, partly cloudy, just sun. It's mostly sunny.
Does that help you any, Fred?
Well, yeah. I do think that that the Broncos will play them very tough. There's nothing like a good pass rush to give quarterbacks problems, and Denver has that. But I don't think Denver is going to be able to sustain the ball long enough to score points. I think the Pats win, but they don't cover.
All right, so you're picking Denver as I am on this because we're saying New England will win.
Well, that's 3 of us.
And Eric Joseph picked Denver as well.
Wow, we're all agreement.
All right, so let's go to Baltimore. 7.5 point favorites at home against Houston. Now, you'll recall Houston won last week. Obviously, they're here. They were playing Cincinnati. Baltimore, how did they end the season? They ended their season with 2 wins in a row. They've given up 266 points for the year. Houston's given up 278. Jimmy Mack, you were high on Houston last week. What do you think this week?
Well, the big difference in this game is age. The Texans are one of the youngest teams in the league, especially in defense, while the Ravens are the oldest. They're aging. If Yates could find an all-around Andre Johnson, who didn't play the last game, when they played before, he didn't play. And I just feel I'm going to take the dog again. I think the Texans can win this game.
So you think Houston can win this game, Fred Dreyer?
Well, Well, can they? Yeah. Will they? I'm not too sure. These teams right now, they're at home. This is a pretty good defense.
Baltimore's at home. Little better defense. They're pretty much matched up. 266 for Ravens, 278 for Houston.
Yeah, I just think that they're going to give that younger quarterback, Yates, a little bit of a hard time. I think that the Baltimore wins. Now, whether they cover or not, that's a flip of the coin. I'm going to just say for the heck of it that they win and they barely cover.
So you say Baltimore will cover. You're picking Baltimore.
Yeah, I think so.
And you, Mr. Joseph?
I was going to do Houston, but something very deciding factor here.
What's that?
Baltimore is undefeated at home this year. I'm going with Baltimore at home.
Undefeated this year at home? Let's take a
8-0.
look.
But not by the spread.
Baltimore.
But not by the spread. That's very true.
Baltimore is 8-0 at home. You are correct.
And
They have to win by a touchdown, 7.5. One
This
touch.
is their
it's
first playoff game at home.
Yeah,
ever.
here's the thing. I do think Baltimore is going to win. My gut feel was Houston. I almost switched to Baltimore, and my first pick was Houston. I am going to also pick Houston, ladies and gentlemen, just because it's 7.5. That means they got to win by more than 7 points. Touchdown will give me the victory. Did you pick Baltimore then?
I picked Baltimore.
So you and Fred are alike. Jimmy Mack, I hate to see that you and I are agreeing here.
Because I'm good.
This is unbelievable, ladies and gentlemen.
Because he's good. I like that.
Can't take this anymore. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a quick break. Come back with our final game. This will be the evening game on Sunday. Green Bay at home, 7.5-point favorites over the New York Giants. We'll be back.